Coming up on This Week in Torrance, we'll tell you what park is set to get some much-needed upgrades.
And a local veteran gets a surprise of a lifetime thanks to a Torrance business.
Plus, registered dietitian nutritionist Vandana Sheth is in the studio to share tips on ways you can get kids to eat healthier.
Then a program that gives children in hospice care a unique experience they wouldn't have otherwise. We'll tell you more.
These stories and much more are just seconds away.
Your local news starts right now.
Hello and welcome to This Week in Torrance. I'm Jin Chun.
And I'm Ben McCain. Thanks so much for joining us. Here are your top stories. Local softball players were honored at City Hall for their participation in the recent USA Softball All-American Games. Torrance City Council recognized 4 girls from Magruder Middle School who were selected to play at the prestigious tournament. It is hosted at the Hall of Fame Stadium in Oklahoma City. The national event highlights the best athletes from across the country in the 12 and under division. The girls were selected to represent Southern California in Region 10. Only 360 female athletes nationwide are invited to this elite event. There is an opening ceremony that features a meet and greet with USA softball national team members and competition in a 4-game guaranteed tournament. Congratulations.
Sur La Brea Park will soon be upgraded. City Council unanimously approved funding to purchase and install a new playground and fitness equipment. While officials say there are parts of Sur La Brea's playground that can't be replaced or repaired, they will put in new, larger equipment, install adult fitness gear in the small playground area, and add engineered wood fiber. The project is part of the Community Services Department's 5-year capital projects budget. City staff hosted community meetings for members to discuss the equipment and proposed design improvements. The city also has plans to upgrade playground equipment at El Nido Park in September.
Torrance City Council hosted its first public hearing on proposed amendments to the city charter. They discussed various amendments to the city charter for the March 3rd, 2020 election and to also consider ones for the upcoming November 5th election. Officials voted on each amendment separately, with this including the time period they would want to choose to fill an elective office vacancy. Then an election to be held to make the city clerk or city treasurer appointed positions instead of elected ones. Updating list of appointive officers, which are appointed by the city council, changing the monetary amount per month for city council members' compensation, and consolidating the positions of city treasurer and finance director. Members unanimously approved to put the first 3 amendments on the charter ballot and to discuss the others during the next hearing. 2 residents urged council members' compensation be increased for all of their time commitment and work in the community. Torrance council members expressed their opinions on each amendments as well. You can watch replays of the meeting on our channel throughout the week or go to torranceca.gov to watch the meeting online now. The next public hearing will take place on October 1st.
The North Torrance well field project is on its 3rd phase of construction, and reporter Jen Murua was on site to tell us how residents and the community will benefit from this project.
This 2-acre site is the future home of 2 new wells and a storage reservoir that will service the City of Torrance and its residents.
Well, the purpose of having the wells in the City of Torrance is so we can use our own properties, our own right-of-ways, and service our own residents here in the City of Torrance. Obviously, if we had to go outside of the city or something like that, we would have to buy more property and have longer pipes. So everything's much more economical having it right here.
John Dettel, Torrance Engineering and Project Manager, says imported water prices have spiked due to former drought conditions in California.
Currently, we buy most of our water from MWD. When we complete this project, we'll be able to maximize our groundwater rights and have a local or more of a local water resource than we already do.
And that's why the North Torrance Wellfield project construction behind Yukon Elementary is important for the future. Officials say this lot was an ideal location for construction. Andrew Bordrick, Waterworks Engineers Design Project Manager, assisted in calculating the design of pipelines and functions of the wells.
This project utilizes the 3 wells. Well number 9, which is at McMaster Park, which is an existing well actually. Well number 10, which is on this water site here, and then also well 11, which is kind of on the south, I guess it'd be the southeast side of Yukon Elementary School.
All 3 wells will feed into a tank where fresh water will be stored.
Another improvement of the project is at McMaster Park, the existing well 6 and existing steel tank at that location will be demolished as it's no longer utilized for water production purposes, and McMaster Park will be expanded and will have a new grass area for the residents of Torrance.
The city has hosted 1 community meeting so far where the project was discussed and questions were answered.
The project has very important benefits to the city in that right now we only have 1 operating well for the City of Torrance, owned by the City of Torrance. And so one of the benefits of this project is that if something was to happen like a major earthquake and we lost MWD water, we would have a local supply of water to make sure that our residents still had water. That's one of the important things.
For Torrance CitiCABLE, I'm Jen Murua.
Thanks, Jen. If you'd like to learn more, there will be a North Torrance Homeowners Association meeting on October 10th. All construction is projected to be complete by January of 2021.
As the economy booms in the City of Torrance, many businesses are expanding and moving into the city. Torrance Marriott on Fashion Way submitted plans to update all 491 rooms along with common corridors and laundry facilities on each floor. Then Del Amo Fashion Center construction continues for the new market at the former TJ Maxx space. The new Japanese market and food court Mitsuya plans to house about 12 new eateries as individual restaurant permits were received. There was also a building permit issued for the installation of 20 additional electric vehicle charging stations. The former Toys R Us location will soon become Hobby Lobby as they recently received their building permits. The Moog Aircraft Group is also expanding their space on Western Boulevard to add an extra 10,000 square feet. This is a heartwarming story. A local veteran and single mom received a surprise of a lifetime after a visit to a Torrance auto body shop. 11-year combat veteran Raven Smith hasn't driven a car this past year. Instead, she's walked nearly an hour each way to get to work or used other modes of transportation. But this all changed when she visited Caliber Collision in Torrance to find a newly restored 2014 Toyota Avalon waiting for her. Thanks to Caliber Collision and Allstate Insurance, they volunteered their time and skills as an act of kindness. This was made possible by the National Auto Body Council's Recycled Rides program that connects collision industry companies to repair and provide cars to people in need. Allstate officials say it gives them an opportunity to work with many different repair facilities and industry partners to repair and donate cars. Smith was nominated for the donation by Support the Enlisted Project. Smith was deployed twice to Baghdad, and now with a car, she and her 12-year-old daughter will be able to get around to doctor's appointments, grocery shopping, and much more with ease. Local Allstate agent Jeff Ning and Caliber representatives unveiled the car. Allstate donated 122 cars to military service members, veterans, and others in need of transportation. They have been involved in the recycling program since 2010.
Well, a local band is hoping to take their music to the top, but needs your help to win a contest. Carry the Day, a 4-member alternative hard rock group from Torrance, is participating in a new contest sponsored by radio stations on theopenact.com. The band was formed in 2018 in a garage in Torrance, and members attended Torrance and West high schools. Their debut single, Someone Else, has had 81,000 Spotify streams and counting in less than a month and a half. Now, another popular single is Better Days. You can vote through September 5th. Now, if they have the most votes, they will move on to the semifinals. Winning the competition will give them a chance to win $10,000 and perform at the Hollywood Bowl. To vote for Carry the Day music, go to theopenact.com. Well, still ahead, the South Bay Lakers take a break from playing ball and give back to a local school.
Plus, students in Torrance head back to class. We were on campus on the first day to capture the excitement.
The South Bay Lakers took a break from the court and got to work in a local classroom. As part of the South Bay Lakers' year-long adoption of Edison Elementary, 29 Lakers and South Bay Lakers staff spent an afternoon renovating and updating one of their classrooms. They cleaned, built furniture, and decorated a classroom to surprise students before school started. And it was no surprise the classroom that is called the Positive Behavior Room was decorated around the Lakers theme, giving students a fun and safe place to learn and grow. This act of kindness is one of many the South Bay Lakers have done in the past year. It was the last one for the year-long adoption program that started last fall. Other events included a reading program, a Junior Laker Girls Dance Clinic, basketball programming, and tickets to games.
The community took a coffee break with first responders. The Torrance Fire Department hosted its first Frappuccino with a Firefighter event at Starbucks near the South Bay Galleria. Attendees were able to get to know fire personnel one-on-one. Some attendees were also given a quick lesson on hands-only CPR. The Torrance fire officials say this was one way to support and join partnerships with the local business to reach out to the community in a larger capacity. It was also an opportunity for attendees to accept canned food for the LA Food Bank.
An 18-day adventure came to an end for Kashiwa delegates. The Sayonara Banquet was bittersweet as it was the culmination of the Kashiwa Japan Cultural Exchange Program here in Torrance. The 8 student delegates traveled to San Diego, visited Disneyland, Hollywood Bowl, the Torrance Certified Farmers Market, enjoyed a day at the beach, and even a special trip to our studios here at CitiCABLE. There was a special recognition to Warner Willoughby, the Torrance Sister City Association president, for his hard work and passion. During the banquet, the Torrance delegates that visited Kashiwa were introduced, and Kashiwa delegates talked about their favorite experiences.
Just giving the opportunity to let her into an American home and really give her a true look at the nice, loving character of Americans, and trying to do our part in the whole Japan-America cultural exchange. It made me feel like I was actually doing something positive for the world on a local level.
The experience was once in a lifetime. Our host family daughter Riho was so sweet, and it was so fun getting to know her, and we've had lots of fun times. We went to Catalina Island for one of our host free days, and it was so incredible. She's so sweet, and hopefully I can go to Japan next year with the delegation.
Thank you for your unwavering friendship for 46 years. Now my heart is full of warm, friendly feeling for you. It will last forever. See you again. Thank you very much.
Sad to see her go, but it's so nice that TSCA and Kira have such a strong friendship and strong relationship. So, of course, we'll be in touch, and I know I'll be back in Kashiwa someday, and I'm sure at some point we'll meet again and have good memories again. And I'm so thankful for this opportunity.
The Torrance Sister City Association has been promoting friendship, goodwill, and understanding between the cities of Torrance and Kashiwa. The exchange program is the foundation of the city's friendship with Kashiwa, Japan. Students who visit both countries learn firsthand about the people, culture, and the way of life.
So we have to design a program that kind of balances the educational aspect with also having fun every day. So things that we want them to learn is what it's like to be a resident of Torrance, what it's like to be an American, and we plan a lot of activities for them, whether it is attending different facilities around Torrance, like the fire station or CitiCABLE.
While this is certainly an evening of celebration, I suspect there will also be a few tears, as tonight's special event also marks the culmination of this year's exchange experience between the two cities.
To learn more about the program, go to torrancesistercity.org.
The local community wined and dined, all for a good cause. The tunes of Kenny G, a Grammy award-winning saxophonist, brought entertainment to attendees at the 33rd Annual Honda Evening Under the Stars Gourmet Food and Wine Festival. 30 restaurants from the South Bay included The Depot, Bettalino Kitchen, Red Car Brewery, and Benihana. There were also featured select wines poured by the sommeliers from the Disneyland Resort. It's the 11th year that the proceeds of the event will benefit Torrance Memorial Medical Center. The donations will be given to support the pediatric and young adult pavilion.
This is our corporate headquarters, and it's very important to us that we're not just in the community, but we need to be part of the community. So we very much want to be involved in activities that benefit our community and make it a stronger fiber for all of us.
Well, I think this event is special because it brings the community together. There are a lot of events that we might host or other organizations might host that are particular to our own organization. This is one of those events that everybody comes out, and it really is kind of fun to see everybody from the community here.
We just opened a brand new pediatric unit. It was a $40 million renovation, and Honda's primary charity is supporting children. And to have our tiniest patients being cared for in such a loving manner. They have all private rooms now. They have an incredible playroom in our pediatric unit. It's a beautiful place and it's safe. We have a child life specialist at Torrance Memorial.
Officials say Honda has always been a big supporter and donated an additional $1 million to support the Lundquist Tower.
A local business dedicated a day to give back to an organization. King's Hawaiian Bakery and Restaurant hosted a Hukilau fundraiser recently. 15% of the proceeds from that day were given to Bridges to Home for Autism, an organization that develops programs and services specifically designed for each child in mind. It now serves people with disabilities in 6 sites. The community, including Mayor Patrick Fury and council members, came out to support. Hukilau is a way of fishing invented by the ancient Hawaiians. Bridges has various services including early intervention, toilet training, feeding program, and applied behavior analysis therapy.
School is back in session, and reporter Sarah Honeycutt visited J.H. Hull Middle School to find out more about a unique program designed to make kids feel welcomed, included, and excited for the new school year.
Summer break has come to an end, and students say while it's bittersweet, they are excited for the year ahead.
I was really excited. I couldn't sleep at all last night. I was so excited about seeing all my friends, meeting all my teachers, seeing who's in my classes.
We're going to play a game because I want to get to know each of you, and I kind of want you to get to know me.
With more than 700 students on campus, everyone had the opportunity to participate in the school-wide First 5 Days activities. Cynthia Gottschalk, a math and science teacher, came up with the initial idea. She says the goal is to help build relationships and foster school spirit.
I went to a trauma-informed schools conference last year, and they talked about the importance of getting to know your students and making those relationships with your students. And so we felt like to get our students to feel more part of a group and take ownership of the school, we should get to know them, and came up with ways to build those relationships right off the bat instead of waiting till we're into the school year to build those relationships.
With activities such as icebreakers, a scavenger hunt, and a door decorating contest, the First 5 Days allows students to develop a meaningful relationship with each other and their teachers.
It's important to know our classmates, our teachers, and the staff members, because the more we know each other, the better we can get along and understand each other.
Gottschalk says the school hopes to improve student learning by encouraging more involvement and pride in the school. The new program is also designed to promote inclusivity and team building. For Torrance CitiCABLE, I'm Sarah Honeycutt.
Thanks, Sarah. For more information, visit the website tusd.org/schools/Hull.
Well, Torrance Unified School District hosted a documentary screening to inspire change in social media usage. Reporter Jen Murua has the story.
Seats quickly filled up the Performing Arts Center of North High School. Crowds of students and parents attended the screening of the documentary, to explore the impacts of social media and the effects on mental health.
Every year, cabinet and school board members, talk and work with students about what we're doing well, what we can do better. It's part of our planning process. And we were talking to students about their struggles, and they brought up the anxiety around the having a social media presence and how much time they were spending on social media.
The Like documentary shares teen experiences on social media apps and their obsession with constantly checking their phones. Bringing the documentary to the City of Torrance is a way to spread awareness.
I think we have a great opportunity here to help parents really bridge that divide, where they were as students and children and where their children are now. And so I think if they can kind of understand what our students are really facing, I think that's really the hope, is just to bring awareness and help them, give them some tools.
The Like documentary has started a conversation about the impacts of social media. Parents and students attended the screening to be part of the discussion. Parent Rosani Liu has noticed habits other children have on social media and hopes her own children don't follow.
This is something that's constantly on my mind in terms of how to help her navigate the world of social media carefully and without falling into traps of being addicted to it, like some of the teens already have. So coming here today is my way of helping to learn how I can help her as a parent when she does get a phone.
Sarah Myers, president and CEO of the Volunteer Center, South Bay Harbor, Long Beach, was one of the 4 panel speakers.
We had been talking to the school district about the Volunteer Center and our new work and focus on the teen youth mental health crisis. So she knew I had done a lot of research, and our organization was creating a program for teens to help with this issue.
Screens are here to stay, and the Like documentary encourages parents to have a conversation about these social media habits, find a balance, and self-regulate. For Torrance City Cable, I'm Jen Murua.
Thanks, Jen. For more information about the documentary, you can check out their website at likemovie.com.
August is Kids Eat Right Month, and in its 5th year, the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics and its foundation focus on the importance of healthful eating and active lifestyles for children and family. There's no better person to talk to us about this than Vandana Chef, who is a registered dietitian nutritionist from Torrance. You're also the spokesperson for the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics. It's always a pleasure having you on the program.
Great to be here as always, Ben.
Tell us about Kids Eat Right Month.
So August is designed to be Kids Eat Right Month, and this is the time that the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics encourages us to build healthy relationships with food for children. As parents and caregivers, we can have a big impact on their lives. So encouraging them to eat right and be more physically active.
How do we get children excited about eating the right food, the healthy food?
Well, there are 5 simple steps that the Academy encourages for families to do. Number 1 is shop smart. 2 is cook healthy. 3 is eat right. 4 is build healthy habits. And 5 is get moving. And so when we talk about getting kids excited, get them involved in the process. Take them grocery shopping with you. Go to the local farmers market. We have a wonderful Torrance farmers market. And let them explore different foods. And let them see you be a positive role model, where you sit down and serve half your plate with fruits and veggies and actually enjoy these foods.
And what does the term choose ingredients that multitask, what does that mean?
It's a fun term. So when you think about it, we always talk about multitasking, different things that we do in our lives, but actually our ingredients can multitask. For example, say you have a recipe that needs about 3 chicken breasts. Instead of just making the 3, go ahead and double that recipe. That way you have 4 or 6 chicken breasts and you have that left over for another meal. You could use it in a stir fry, you could use it in a salad, in a soup. That way you're not making the same thing over and over. You're making that ingredient work multiple ways.
You encourage people to eat together as a family, and I think that's very important. Why do you think that's important?
You know, I have wonderful memories as a child growing up and sitting down around the family table. I'm sure you do as well, Ben.
Absolutely.
But as we get busier, our lives get crazy and everyone is doing different things, we are running away from that special time. It's not just a time to gather around the table and eat the food, but it's also building healthy relationships where you're having a supportive environment, you're talking about your day. And research has found that kids who eat with their families on a regular basis seem to have a higher intake of fruits and veggies. They seem to have a healthier weight. They seem to have a lesser risk in terms of negative behaviors like with drugs and alcohol, etc., as they grow older. So it can have a profound effect to just even set aside one meal a week, not even a day, one meal a week as families can sit down together for a family meal. It would be great.
What advice do you have for parents dealing with kids and how they love sugar?
So, I think we talked about this a little before we started recording. But
we
really,
all like sugar. Most of us
sugar.
anyway.
I do too. There's nothing wrong with sugar. It's a matter of, is it added to something? Whereas if it's naturally occurring, like in a fruit or things like that, that's fine. But the added sugars, there's some risk in terms of health. And so rather than saying it's not allowed at all, I believe in moderation. There are some guidelines. The American Heart Association has come up with guidelines as to how many grams of sugar we can add to our daily intake. The labels are really interesting. Our nutrition food labels are going to be changing soon, where every item is actually going to list the added sugars on labels, so we can start looking at that.
Any more tips for this month?
For this month, I would say that just keep it simple. If you had to pick a few tips, it would be keep it simple, have an action plan, get your kids involved in the cooking and shopping process. It can be fun. And even if it's one meal a week that you have as a family, it would be wonderful.
Congratulations appearing on Cavuto Live. I happened to be catching that, and I was so proud of you. You did a great job.
Thank you so much, Ben. It means a lot.
Let's talk about your book.
Yes, I'm super excited. I released a cookbook. It's called My Indian Table. Quick and healthy recipes that are vegetarian. They all come together in 30 minutes or less. You can enjoy more fruits and vegetables, because often when it comes to produce...
I like the picture.
Thank you. Often kids are not that excited about vegetables, but this might be a fun way to encourage them to try them, because there are spices and herbs presented in a different way.
Thank you so much, Vandana, for joining us. You did a fabulous job. For more information, you can go to vandanachef.com. That's vandanachef.com. Well, before we go, we have one more great story about an organization called Trinity Kids Care. They're one of the largest providers of pediatric hospice in the country, and they're using virtual reality to bring joy to seriously ill children and their families. Torrance City Cable reporter Sarah Honeycutt brings us this story from the Providence Trinity Care headquarters right here in Torrance.
Dr. Glenn Komatsu has a special mission: to help dying kids and their families. He believes there is still joy in life, even when you're very sick or terminally ill.
When cure is not possible, healing is always possible.
Komatsu and his staff have treated hundreds of children during his time as the Chief Medical Officer of Trinity Kids Care, the only pediatric hospice program in Southern California.
You know, for a lot of these kids who don't get out much, they can't go on trips very well, some of them are bedbound, this opens up their world to be able to see things that we take for granted.
The virtual reality program is just one more thing that we offer to children and families to bring some lightness, some moments of joy to their experience.
Ready?
One Providence patient's experience is captured in the documentary called Child of the Earth. It is a powerful demonstration of a patient enjoying a world outside of his illness.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's added a lot to the creative mind that these kids still experience. They really have so much hope. It's just given them that opportunity to experience that creative side of them that they haven't been given the opportunity to.
When I go in there, I just forget about what I have in these conditions.
Komatsu says hospice care is not about giving up or losing hope. It's about continuing to live life to the fullest. For Torrance City Cable, I'm Sarah Honeycutt.
Thanks, Sarah. For more information, visit the website california.providence.org, and to watch the Child of the Earth documentary, visit instituteforhumancaring.org. Well, that does it for us on This Week in Torrance. I'm Ben McCain.
And I'm Jin Chun. Thanks so much for joining us. We'll see you next time.